With current Tropical Storm Beryl approaching the Texas Gulf Coastline, the National Hurricane Center is closely monitoring. JD had the opportunity to spend some time with the director of the center just after the latest update was released this afternoon.
All right, I'm excited for this opportunity. We're going to be able to talk to the National Hurricane Center director. This is Dr. Michael Brennan, and he has been a busy man today. Dr. Brennan, thanks for taking some time to check in with us after we've just released this 4 p.m. update.
Yeah, sure. Great to be with you.
And I'll tell you, I've got to be honest, this is the update in which a whole lot of watches changed to warnings, and my maps have gotten just downright ugly and hard to explain even if I try to put the different layers on there. So let me just ask you to give us the overall message that our folks here in Houston and the area need to hear right now.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot to go through, and we can cover all those hazards. So I'd like to really focus on those, But Houston, Galveston, Southeast Texas, as you know, tropical storms and hurricanes are multi-hazard events. We're usually really concerned about the water hazards, the storm surge, the heavy rainfall, flooding. Beryl is no different, but there's also the risk of tropical storm conditions. We got tropical storm warnings that now go all the way up to High Island. So we're expecting wind, storm surge, and heavy rainfall. We can go through all those, but first we'll start with the storm surge. We've got expecting to see in that storm surge watch area now that goes from San Luis Pass over to Sabine Pass, including Galveston Bay, the potential for 2 to 4 feet of inundation above ground level. We're going to keep a close eye on whether we need to extend that storm surge warning to include Galveston Bay. So if the track of Beryl shifts a little farther to the east, or if the wind field gets a little bigger, as you know, it doesn't take a lot of wind blowing up into Galveston Bay to cause those water levels to rise up pretty quickly. So we're certainly concerned about that. Really concerned about the heavy rainfall threat as well. If you look at the potential for widespread rainfall totals of 5 to 10 inches, isolated totals as high as 15 inches, especially as we get from Sunday night into Monday and even into Tuesday, there's going to be really heavy rainfall somewhere here along the immediate coast where Beryl makes landfall, and then elsewhere across southeastern and eastern Texas is going to be a big threat for this event.
All right, let's talk about confidence in a forecast, because I know sometimes when I put out a forecast or when you guys put out a forecast, there's different levels of confidence that go along with that. So right now, where we are, relatively close to landfall, what's the confidence like there at the National Hurricane Center?
Well, we're pretty confident that the hurricane's going to come on shore within this hurricane warning area, with the center passing somewhere between Baffin Bay and Sargent. The model guidance has come into pretty good agreement since yesterday, but anytime you have these sort of northward turns that are somewhat parallel to the coast, it doesn't take a very big shift to make the difference between landfall, say, over here or over here. So, there's still that wide area, so relatively wide area where we could see the center come on shore. But, and we also are expecting intensification to happen. We haven't seen a lot of change in Beryl today. We've had the Hurricane Hunter aircraft out there. The next missions are on their way out there now, so we'll see if the winds have come up. The pressure fell just a few millibars, but the environment is expected to be a lot more favorable as we go from tonight into tomorrow, and then leading up to landfall early morning. So we could see some pretty steady strengthening, and we are expecting Beryl to re-intensify to a hurricane. If it slows down a little bit or moves a little farther to the right, it could spend a little more time over the water, get a little stronger. But again, we don't want folks to focus too much on the category or whether it's a tropical storm or hurricane now. Their focus really needs to be on the hazards, the storm surge, the rain, the tropical storm force winds.
Okay, so we're definitely here along the Gulf Coast, Southeast Texas, Houston, Galveston. We've got folks down near Matagorda Bay, actually, as well. It's in our viewing area. But we're going to watch this system move inland. What would you say to those folks who are a little further inland, maybe as far as Austin and Dallas? Because, the whole state of Texas is kind of keeping an eye on this.
Yeah, so no, as you move inland, and you get, say north of I-10, the real threat is going to be the heavy rainfall and the rainfall flooding. And you can look, and this is sort of the flash flood risk map for Monday morning into Tuesday morning. And this area in red in particular is the area of greatest concern. It's a level 3 out of 4 for the flash flood risk. So that includes like Bryan College Station up to Palestine, and Houston itself, and then back over towards Victoria. But there's this broader risk, a level 2 out of 4, that extends extends all across the rest of eastern Texas, includes the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Tyler, and even over into the Arklatex, northeast Texas, and down all the way over to Lake Charles. So there's going to be a broad risk of flash flooding that's going to occur across this area. We don't know exactly where that heaviest rainfall is going to occur yet, but there could be considerable flash and urban flooding somewhere in this area, probably most likely in this red region that we're outlining here.
Okay, I don't want to downplay the flooding for sure, but I also want to sort of set some people a little bit at ease, because I hear people talking about Harvey already again, and the fact that will this stall, and you know, it's just a tropical storm, but that can bring so much rain. So I want someone else besides me to kind of address that as we wrap up our conversation and talk about the fact that yes, the rain's going to be a threat, but it doesn't look like this is going to be a historic storm.
Yeah, this doesn't look to be a Harvey magnitude rainfall event by any stretch. We do expect the center of Beryl to keep moving as it makes landfall Monday into Tuesday, and then accelerate northeastward up into the Mississippi and Ohio valleys by the time we get from Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday. So while there will be, you know, a couple of days of pretty heavy rainfall, we're not expecting, you know, a multi-day, extreme magnitude rainfall event at this point. So, but again, it doesn't take 40 inches of rain. If you have 10 or 15 inches of rain in the wrong place, especially in an urban area, you can get some pretty significant flooding if the rain falls very quickly in those sort of paved areas, or in areas like southeast Texas and east Texas that had a lot of rain lately. So it is something people are going to want to pay attention to, but we're not looking at a Harvey level event at this point.
All right, Dr. Brennan, thank you for the work you're doing there at the National Hurricane Center. We're looking for that information. It's critical, and we appreciate you taking some time with us today.